Jaynee on YouTube. Um, this hasn't been a good day for me. I've been sick. I'm 77. I am an artist and I am a grandmother. This show is generally not about art. It's usually about advice or just how to live and enjoy your life more. Because life is hard. Life is no joke. Um, I wanted to talk to you about our dark side. Every single human has a dark side. We all have things that, if we think about them, we really don't like them about ourselves. One way to look at it is if you see when you argue with people, look at your side of it. It always does take two, even if the other person is an obnoxious fool. It still takes two because you've been involved in it. That will give you a hint of at least part of your dark side. It's always more than the first thing that you see. It's not bad. It When you look at your dark side, ultimately it takes a long time, but it leads you to you. And you need to be proud of yourself. You deserve it. We all do. We're all trying to do the best that we can. And nobody likes to see that we really aren't interested in phone calls. We're not really interested in being friends or talking to people. I mean, we feel like we should do those things, but many of us, including me, don't want to. I find that I don't want to go out. I want to stay in my house. I feel like pushing myself out the door, but I just don't really want to. And that's me. That's how I am. And I know some of you are that way too. It's human. Um, I tend to stand up for what I believe. I I can't stand liars. I hate liars. They are, they're awful. And then once you argue with them, they go around making stories about you, telling other people, and other people don't know you, so they believe it. That's a liar. And you feel like putting up a sign, walking around, like those sandwich signs people used to have, and saying, so and so was a liar. Don't believe anything she or he says. Because if they feel threatened, and they're going to feel threatened 100% of the time because they're loony, they make up shit. They're liars. And liars are, honestly, they're like a bane on our existence. So I can't stand them. They've hurt me, and I know they're sure. I know that somebody out there has been hurt by them too, because it's just how they are. They don't care. They're just protecting themselves, so called. Not really. Ugh. So that's one kind of thing that I don't like. Um, and little white lies when you're working, they don't count. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about telling your boss that the trolley had an accident, or you had to get off one trolley and get on another one, and that's why you're late. That's fine. I mean, that's understandable. You're not hurting anybody. You're not calling anybody names. You're not making it up. Um, uh, so I tend to be the kind of person who stands up and says, "What do you mean? Why are you saying that racist crap? What's wrong with you?" Um, I'm an old white lady. I could get killed. I have to stop myself. It's With some people, it's stupid. A lot of people walking around. We In my life, we used to call them balagolas. It kind of meant these people who were kind of ignorant, and like pigs, and they might be, especially now when people are armed, you know, shooting you, shooting me. They wouldn't care at all. Hello, ma'am. Hello, sweetheart. I think you're a sweetheart. I think a lot of you are sweethearts. Oh, I wasn't good today. Today was a difficult day, but you get old, and it's just how life is. It can be difficult, and I look up anytime. Oh my God, I fall. I do fall all the time. So of course I look it up on Google. Ooh, okay, so we're talking about the dark side. Um, and I did say yeah, it is true. When you finally have faced all this stuff, and you know yourself, and you know that you can be, I don't know, anything. Act stupid. You say stuff, and then you realize later, I don't know why I said that. I feel really, that was a dumb thing to say. It really doesn't matter. But you realize eventually it really does lead you to yourself and leads you to be happier because you accept how you are. You're allowed not to want to go food shopping, or you don't like going to buy clothes. I mean, a lot of people are like that, not just men. Some women don't like it. Some women don't want to go buy shoes. Others can't wait to do that. It's just human. We all have different things that we like and don't like. I know a lot of people who don't like to talk on the phone. They don't want to say it to their friends because they don't want to lose a friend and they really love that person. But it's the real truth. You don't like talking on the phone. It's true. Um, I'm a sugar addict. I will. We went out last night. Finally, I dragged my poor husband out. He's dying of kidney disease. Dragged him out, which he really likes. And he got to eat French onion soup and clams, I guess, in the brine and all that stuff, the garlic with the bread and all. Um, and he had something I forget what it's called now. It's really popular and it's all over the place, made with eggs and butter, and I don't know. It's um, one of those really well-known desserts. It's French, um, but I think also a whole lot of other people, uh, people from Puerto Rico make it. People from Mexico make it. It's really something that you find all over the place. So he left me half, and after I ate that, I said to the waiter, uh, "Get me one of those." So I ate one and a half. I am really a sort of a pig as far as sweets go, sugar. I'm really lucky. I have diabetes, and got to be careful with diabetes. I know a lot of you guys have it because I mean, not everybody, but a lot of people have diabetes. And it runs in families. My mom had it, my grandmother had it. It's just uh, endemic, I think is the word. It's all over the place. Mine is controlled by diet. But I wonder because the stuff I eat, boy, um, it's not particularly healthy. Uh, anyway, no, I'm not very friendly, except if if I happen to meet someone, then I'm very friendly. Um, in the long run, I forget to call people. I don't write back. I forget. I don't like it. I wish I did better. Um, my parents did better. I know is it funny hearing an old lady say her parents because you feel like, well, what do you mean parents? You know, I remember feeling that way toward people. I like, how can you talk about parents? You're old, but you can because you remember them. My brother is like a clone of my father, our father. Our father was very friendly, and he was real active in organizations. My brothers, I'm not going to say all the stuff he does because people say, "Oh, they're upper." We're not upper class. Really not at all. I mean, we were poor, poor for the neighborhood we lived in, which is that's the way it is. This lady sold me fentanyl. Well, you shouldn't be buying fentanyl. You realize how strong that shit is? No, he's not a lawyer. My brother's not a lawyer. He um, was originally a social worker, went back to school when our mom passed away, and became a what do you call it? A teacher for what do you call it? Special ed teacher, and he worked in Chinatown in L.A. It was an education. It was a really good education. I think that he really respected, and through him, well, how could you? I mean, you can't just not like Chinese people because there were millions of them, and I do like them, whatever. I won't even go into that. But yes, he did, and he did like the kids a lot. He liked the Chinese people, and it was really a good fit, a better fit than social worker. He used to get under the table with the kids, that kind of stuff. You are 10. You're 10 years old, and and you're on here. Oh my goodness! I have a 10-year-old granddaughter. I was going to try to do a show with my 8-year-old granddaughter, maybe tomorrow if she were interested. My 10-year-old she's more interested. Um, but I draw with my 8-year-old. I told you I'm an artist. So what I do is do the outside of, I do the outside of the people, and then I let her color them in or do all the stuff. Don't mess with fentanyl. I mean, it's more dangerous than, it's not meant for getting high. I mean, it's more like meant for dying. If you feel like dying, well, that's good for that. Most people on there are about 10 to 17. Really? Logic here? Huh. Well, I'm not a teacher. I mean, I taught art. That's really cute. Thank you for saying that. That's very sweet. She's 10. Hey, Grandma. Yep, I'm called Grandma. I'm hoping that I see my little 2-year-old. She's so sweet. And she falls like this. She walks along and all of a sudden she goes, "Whoa." I don't know what that thing is. She's fine, but I mean, yeah, she goes, "Phew." And then she jumps up and she's okay. She's adorable. Okay, so stuff for 10-year-olds. 10-year-olds to 17-year-olds. Well, you got to stay out of trouble. Don't stay out real late. We used to be able to go. We had a school across the street, and there were bushes there, and we used to play hide and go seek in the bushes. We were always stepping in dog poop, and didn't stop us. We still went and hid behind the bushes. Then I gave my mom the shoe or shoes. That's great. How old am I? 77. I thought the world would end when I was 54 in the year 2000. Whether or not I was 54, I don't remember, but I know I remember looking at it as a kid and thinking, the year 2000, oh my God. How do you all like school? Not going to say. Well, let's see. My daughter is a teacher. She's a nurse too. And she teaches high school kids who want to learn about health, about, being a nurse or a doctor, or other people who, take care of people, take care of the patients. And she likes it. She really does like teenagers. I do too. They are teenagers. People don't appreciate teenagers because it is the time when you get to experiment. You get, maybe you color your hair, maybe you put it in spikes or something, or you let it go long on one side and nothing on the other. And you wear funny, not, I may say funny, but you wouldn't say funny. And I think they're just adorable and wonderful. The school that was across the street eventually became a junior, let's see, it was a junior high school, it became a high school. And I used to love to watch the kids because they were on the verge of adulthood. They were beautiful. I would have loved to have drawn them if I could. They're just gorgeous. There's something very beautiful about teenagers. There is for sure about kids up to that time, but a lot of adults don't really like teenagers. And if some adults don't treat you well, that's where it's coming from. It's not you. It's definitely not you. You are fine. You are great. You are the hope of America. And if you're coming from Sweden, then you're the hope of Sweden. Or if you're coming from Kenya, hope of Kenya. It's really what it is. And if somebody sold you fentanyl and you're, under 20, that person, who even knows if it's really fentanyl? You don't know. It could be rat poison. There's no way to know unless you took it to a lab, and that's not convenient. If we were still at home, my son loved chemistry. He would have liked it if you brought it over and he would have tested it. Um, this is a good time to see what you like. If you're good at it, do you like it? Some things you can't make a living at, and even if you're good at it, they're really not the best career to look for, like being an artist or being a writer. You can be a writer and be a lawyer, be anything, and you can write, and then you have something to write about. But be careful of adults. Some adults love kids and some don't. And believe me, there are teachers who don't like kids. I had teachers who yelled almost the whole time. That particular teacher that I can't remember his name at this moment, he didn't like kids. I mean, he was a burnt out teacher. And some teachers are like that. And don't blame it on yourself. It's not you. You didn't do anything to cause that jerk, who's an adult jerk, to, uh, you know, yell and scream and act like a nasty person. You like doing these lives. Who taught you about YouTube lives? Nobody. Um, I watched the psychics when I think maybe when Trump was first elected, maybe. I'm not positive. Um, and at first I was kind of nervous, but not now. And I stopped wearing a lot of makeup now, too. This is the first time for me doing that. Um, do I like doing them? Yeah, I do. Part of my personality that like I say, we all have dark sides, and don't worry about it. They're not nobody. They're not horrible. You're not going to go out and kill somebody. And if the idea passes through your brain, it's just an idea, you know. When I was a kid, I used to think about committing suicide. I used to think about um, being invisible because my life was not good. It was when I was a little kid, really bad. Um, but I forgot what I was saying. Um, I know what it is that do I like doing these. A part of me um, does really want to tell people what I know and wants to be helpful. Probably should have been a social worker, and I did do that. some of the time, but it was with people who, I don't know, really didn't want to hear it. They were people who were on the streets, and I went out and we were just about scraping them up off the street. You know, it was it was tough. They needed more than someone talking to them about how to live. They needed a bed to sleep in and a roof over their heads. So yeah, lady sold me. I am 10. I feel, oh boy, if Tracy Tracy High Digger Nick. I wonder what you dig, Digger Nick. It's so sweet. Um, I think when I was your age, we listened to Elvis Presley, and my mom used to make me do the dishes, and I would dance while I was doing the dishes. I never liked him. He didn't look like the look that I liked. Um, and that's okay. Every other people liked him. You have plenty of people liking him. It's really sweet. Logic here. Huh. You still seem young. Yeah, some people like me retain their ability to see the world again, like over again, and enjoy it, like see it as you might as a kid. My brother dragged me to Europe, and it was great. I was just like, I'm here in Amsterdam, and I was just mesmerized. It was so exciting. Um, oh, what was really amazing to me? The steps in the house where we were staying in Amsterdam, they were they were almost exactly like a ladder. They weren't changed. This is how they were originally. It's fascinating. There's so much stuff that's fascinating. Well, I like history. So, and the guy that I said that was yelling from the beginning to the end, he was a history teacher. It's amazing that I still like history after that kind of crap. I'm thirsty. I'm looking for a drink. I don't see anything. I forgot to bring something in. Oh, wait a minute. I got something. Ta-da! Water in a funny bottle. I can be psychic if you if any of you actually know that you're psychic. That is incredible because it's really unusual. Um, my one granddaughter said to me when she was a baby, "You're my twin." So everything I did was okay because I was her twin. And one time I was putting her in the seat in the car seat, and she said, "You're beautiful. You're my twin." And I didn't look beautiful, and I was just like, I wish I had thought. I wish I had trusted what she said, because the kids that age are psychic. They can be psychic, and I didn't take her up on it. It was a mistake. I talked to my daughter and a friend of mine who's a therapist, and by the time I talked to her about it, she was too old, and she said, "Grandma, that's, I didn't do that." She did, but she doesn't remember it. So if any of you actually are, and you know you are, you might not want to tell other kids because they'll think you're nuts. But it'd be great if you told me. I love it. Is there anything you want to? Because I can tell you, I can see people If I know who they are, I can see them at home, and I can just see them, which is, um, I did work as a therapist in a psychiatric hospital, and I used to write my notes that way, and I didn't realize I was doing it psychically. I just knew I was writing notes, and I liked writing notes. Um, it's good. Let's see. But I also can talk to spirits, dead people. I talk to them all the time. If you don't, let's see. Um, if you don't have anything to say, I'll ask my great grandfather. Now, my great grandfather came from England and he died in 1903, but he's pretty funny and he's a good friend. So I really like him. I could ask him if he has any jokes. Let me see. Grandpa? Grandpa Coleman, I got a whole bunch of kids on here. Do you have any jokes I can tell them? Oh, he's being serious, I think. He says I won't hear them. I won't. I think that's it for me for now, though. Let's see. Um, okay. No, I don't have anything really. Um, nothing for kids. But you know, I know. Seems like boys or people, male oriented people. Not really. Some people like. Let me go back that up. Forget that because I had a friend. Um, who she did. She liked to draw. In fact, she was a painter. She was a wonderful painter, and she was a gay woman, and she used to ride a motorcycle, and she had a whole bunch of chains. I don't know what the chains were about, but when I first saw her, I didn't know anything about gay people, nothing, and I see this woman with all these chains and riding a motorcycle, um, and it upset me. Like, what is that? Like, I knew it was a woman. Well, eventually I found out she was a really nice person. I studied something, probably philosophy, because we were getting our bachelor degrees at the same time. And getting a degree doesn't mean you know anything, but, and especially philosophy, that I found that really hard and I wasn't interested at all. Um, so she was this terrific painter, but the way that she thought was different, and she did paint when she was in. I come from Philadelphia, so when she was in Philadelphia, she used to paint people, and oh boy, she painted a bird, and she collected not wings but feathers, and she did this incredible painting, and her people were beautifully painted. Anyway, if you like drawing, draw. If you like doing, you know, those things that you put together, that my 8-year-old granddaughter likes. She makes all these little scenes with those things that stick. You put them one on top of the other, and they stick, and you can make little houses and anything, cars and stuff, anything. So do that. Do all kinds of stuff, and your homework. Okay, I don't think any of you are here anymore, but that's okay. Um, well, that kind of ruined my idea. Wasn't what I was going to do, but if I really do have kids, I will talk to my granddaughters and see what's important to tell you. Okay, have a good night. Time for me to read my email and stuff. Okay, good night, kitties and adults and people. Okay. Oh, all of this was my opinion. It's for entertainment purposes only. If you're interested in talking to me seriously, write to me at SpiritsbyJaynee at uh, gmail.com. SpiritsbyJaynee at gmail. Uh, excuse me. Um, if you're interested in a reading, I really do good readings because I can talk to any spirit, and I can see. It's so weird. I can see what people are doing. Look inside their houses and see. Just look inside and see them. Um, so anyway, I charge $80 for up to 2 hours. But if you can't afford that, you pay what you can afford. So I'm not in it for the money. Um, and to do that, same thing, Spirits by Jaynee at um, gmail.com. I have a web page, and like I said, it's Messages from Heaven by Jaynee um, at, wait a minute, no, Messages from Heaven by Jaynee.net. That's it, Messages from Heaven by Jaynee.net. Um, Somebody bought the .com. I surely was not going to pay $1,000 to get it. Hell with that. Um, I generally, if you want to know about shopping, talk to me. I'm a pretty good shopper. I don't believe in paying retail and all that. Oh, anyway, thank you for being here. I will have to think of whatever to say. Monday. Good night. It was a joy. It really was. Good night. Boop. Hey, boop. Okay, there it goes.